new event just started in Hello Kitty Island Adventure. This is the Give and Gather event, and this is our second year of seeing this event in the game. And this year it's only a little bit different. If you did play last year and this is your second time playing the event, your cutscene will look a little bit different than folks playing for the very first time. So I played last year, so my cutscene may look a little bit different than yours if you're playing the event for the very first time. But in the cutscene, we learn about Give and Gather from Cinnamoroll if you're playing for the first time. If you're playing for the second time, instead the cutscene talks about how it's been an entire year on the island, and I can't believe it's Give and Gather time again. My Melody and Tuxedo Sam let us know that we'll be collecting gumdrops that we can use in their shops, and Cinnamoroll asks us to help him deliver presents again this year. If you're playing for the very first time, the cutscene's a little bit different, and you learn about the Give and Gather event, and Cinnamoroll needs your help. Either way, it's going to lead to the same in-game mechanic. Only difference is at the end of the cutscene, if you're playing in year 2, Cinnamoroll says that this year we can match, and he gives us his outfit. So we can dress just like Cinnamoroll when we're delivering those gifts. After that main cutscene and at the start of each day, we'll have a short cutscene with Cinnamoroll where he asks us which character present we want to deliver that day. You can only pick one, but don't worry, he'll ask us this question every day, and each day we choose one character present and he'll give us one generic present. After collecting the presents to deliver from Cinnamoroll, you'll have a new quest for Give and Gather. This quest serves to track those presents that you need to deliver. We have 20 characters and all that could be on your island that you could be delivering presents for. So this part of the event will require you to log in for 20 days. So each day after logging in, getting that cutscene from Cinnamoroll and choosing your character, and don't worry, you can pick any of the characters that he asks you about. Go and find that character and use your gifting option to give them their present from Cinnamoroll. There's also a generic present from Cinnamoroll. You can give this one to any character you want. After delivering each of these presents, you'll get 3 gumdrops for each present. So that means you can get 6 gumdrops each day. After delivering those presents, in addition to getting the gumdrops that you can spend at the 2 shops on last year's items, you'll also be getting your own presents under the present pine. We'll be getting 2 different kinds of presents. We'll be getting presents from those character gifts that we give. Those we won't be able to open until the end of the event. That's where you're gonna get those character sweaters and this year's new item. We don't know what it is yet, but we assume it's going to be character specific and character themed. And if you've been looking in the collections menu, you may have a good idea of what it might be. Then we have the other kind of present. These are the ones that we get from giving those generic gifts. And to change for this year, you don't have to wait to open those if you don't want to. If you want to, you can wait and open them all at once towards the end of the event. But if you want to open them earlier, you can open them at any time during the event. Just go up and interact with the present pine. It'll tell you how many days until the end of the event when you can open them, and you will have a few days buffer. For instance, right now it says that we have 31 days, but the login bonus calendar says 35 days. So you'll be able to open those character gifts 31 days after the start of the event. So keep that in mind when you're trying to count out your 20 days, and make sure you're participating in that first part of the event, because those additional days I think are only going to be buffer for opening your gifts. So what do you get in those generic presents? This is where you're gonna get this year's brand new furniture set, and everything is snowflake themed. It looks like some of the items are gonna be ornaments, and it looks like everything is blue and white and gold, but a lot of the things that I've seen posted are strictly snowflake. And I love that this is going to be a very winter themed furniture set, especially because if you wanna wait to open your presents until later in the event, a lot of the stuff is just snowflake themed, and so it's gonna work all winter long. What you get from those presents that you open looks like it is going to be random, so you won't know what you're gonna get until you open it. I'm hoping that they fixed it from last year so that the randomness picks from what you don't have yet rather than from the entire set, because last year some folks didn't manage to complete the whole set. I think that's another reason to make sure you're playing as much as you can, because that's how you're gonna end up with your duplicates. If you're a year 2 player in Tuxedo Sam's shop, you'll be able to get the character sweaters. Those are what we got in our presents last year, so if you missed any of them, you could fill in your collection. And we'll have 2 new sweaters this year for Wish Me No and Usahana. Since they weren't in the game when we had this event last year, the character sweaters will cost 1 gumdrop and some wool. If you're playing the event brand new for the first time, You'll be able to get all the character sweaters from the presents you get at the end of the event from delivering all those character presents. So be sure to deliver them all. That's gonna take you 20 days. So whether you're a year 1 player or a year 2 player, those character presents under the tree will give you unique character items. We don't know for sure what the year 2 players will be getting. We just know it won't be sweaters. But if you look at the silhouettes in the collections tab, we have a pretty good idea of what they might be. In either case, we currently have 20 characters in the game. Sweaters aren't the only thing that you can buy at Tuxedo Sam's with the gumdrops. You can also get last year's gingerbread clothes. The sweaters and the gingerbread stuff is single collectible items. That means if you've already gotten the gingerbread bowler hat, you won't be able to buy a second one. So keep that in mind, especially with the sweaters. Don't touch trading them because that could block you from your own. You can also use the gumdrops in my Melody shop to buy last year's gingerbread furniture. And that furniture is gonna cost you quite a few gumdrops. If you play the entire event, and you really can play for all 35 days that we see on the login bonus calendar, and you're getting 6 gumdrops each day, that'll give you 210 gumdrops to spend on everything. Each piece of clothing costs you 1 gumdrop, so if you had to do all 20 sweaters that way, that'll be 20 gumdrops and a bunch of wool. And then we have all of the gingerbread outfit. Those are going to be 1 gumdrop each. And I think the gingerbread set may have 5 different pieces. But the furniture at my Melody shop is going to cost several gumdrops each. So some items cost a bit less. So for instance, the gumdrop fence is only 5 gumdrops. However, the tree is 15. So be sure to be logging in as many days as you can because it seems like you're going to need a ton of gumdrops to complete that set. And just like with all of our events, we do have that login bonus calendar. Here is this login bonus calendar. We did look at some of the clothing here and in the key art. So we're going to start out with a new CD, the Give and Gather celebration, which I think is that title screen music on day 1. On day 6, we get our first piece of clothing for the event. It's the snowflake, and this is the one we can see the character wearing it on the left-hand side. On day 7, we have the center snowflake bow. On day 8, we have the side snowflake bow. On day 11, we have the frosty dress. And on day 14, we have the snowflake tiara. So you know if you want that, you're going to have to log in for at least 2 weeks. And we can see that this is only Give and Gather part 1, so we know there's going to be a part 2 and probably a finale. So if you want to make sure you get everything, you're going to need to log in throughout the event. On the left hand side, we can also see these little snowman outfits with 2 different snowman hats and the snowman body. You can also see these ornament balloons. So all of those will have to come in future login bonus calendars. We also see the blue coat, so that could be on a future login bonus calendar. But in that initial cutscene, Tuxedo Sam told us that he was working on schematics for a holiday coat, and the coat in that picture was red. The coat in the game is going to be dyeable, so I'm not sure if they're going to give us a blue one in the login bonus calendar because we do see it on the left-hand side. If you go over to the crafting menu, we don't have those coat plans just yet, so we'll probably be getting those plans later in a future cutscene, and then we'll be able to make all the coats that we want. And with this event, we get a brand new event flower. This is the poinsettia, and for the first time, it doesn't spawn randomly in Seaside Resort. Instead, it'll be spawning randomly in Merry Meadow. After you get them, you can also plant them in Seaside Resort and Spooky Swamp, but you'll find them spawning in randomly in any of your patches in Merry Meadow during the event. They come in 2 colors, red and white, and just like all our other event flowers, they come with a new pattern. This pattern is patch, and it looks like a checkerboard. It does seem like an odd pattern to have on a flower, but remember, we can craft with these flowers, and some of the things we can already craft take on the pattern of the flower. So you should be able to make a patch bow, for instance, and as we're able to make more things at the creation station, I imagine we'll see more things that make a lot of sense in this pattern. In addition to the patch pattern, it sounds like we'll be able to get it in speckled and ombre through pattern transfer. Remember, for those pattern transfers, you need both flowers to be in the same color. For instance, a red ombre tulia and a poinsettia together gives you a chance of getting that red ombre poinsettia. In order to get any colors other than red and white, remember we're going to need to do those color transfers, so a pattern flower in the color that you want next to the flower type that you want. For example, a yellow ombre tulias next to your red poinsettia gives you you a chance at a yellow poinsettia. And remember, these are only going to be spawning in randomly in Merry Meadow and breeding it all outside the greenhouse during the event period. Once Give and Gather is over, the only way you'll be able to breed more of these flowers will be in the greenhouse. But any poinsettias you have even after the event will be able to turn into that patch pattern just like any other flower by using fertilizer. So far, the spawn rates for poinsettias feels on the lower side to me compared to our other event flowers. So if you do have a greenhouse, it may be helpful to duplicate a bunch of them and plant them in any of the patches that spawn them so they can work on duplicating themselves and those color transfers. If you are planting outside the greenhouse, you may want to use other event flowers for your color transfers since they won't be able to breed, but they will be able to transfer their colors to your poinsettias. So I think that's everything in the Give and Gather event in Hello Kitty Island Adventure. So don't forget to be logging in each day, getting everything on that login bonus calendar, and delivering those 2 gifts from Cinnamoroll. If you're trying to complete last year's collections, you can do that from the shop using those gumdrops that you get, and then you can open your new furniture gift presents whenever you want from under the tree. Be sure to log in towards the end of the event, 31 days from when it starts, so you can open those character gifts. So hopefully this helps you with the Give and Gather event in Hello Kitty Island Adventure. If you did, consider giving the video a like to help others find it as well. Subscribe for more Hello Kitty Island Adventure content and turn on notifications to find out the next time we go live. Hope to see you there.